Hi, my name is Ranga from Moss Tutoring, and this video is basically just a walkthrough of the 2025 arithmetic paper for SATS for Year 6 children, which they sit at the end of Year 6 before they move to Year 7. So basically I'm just going to go through the paper, and it's not really a teaching video as such, it's more just like an opportunity for your child just to practice the questions. It's also great for parents to see what sort of things come up on the paper as well. Just that might be able to help support them at some point as well during the build up to the SATs, especially in Year 6. So let's take a look at the front page. So if you haven't seen what a SATs paper looks like, this is it. This is what the front cover looks like. So you'll see that it's got the this is the 2025 paper, and it's the arithmetic paper, and then they just write their name on here, school name, DFE number if they've all that's given to you on the day. So yeah, that's all pretty self-explanatory. Then we'll go through to the next page, which is blank page. There's a lot of these. Then there's the instructions page, so we can just pause video just to have a quick read through this. I'm not going to read it now just to save on time on the video, but pause the video to have a little look at this, and then we'll move on to the first question. Okay, so let's take a look at question 1. So actually before we do that, can you see that if the paper normally has a few questions on one page here? So here's question 1. Pause the video to have a little go. Okay, so how did you get on? So we've got 7,549 equals 7,000 plus a box plus 40 plus 9. So in this box, you would need to write 500, a good little place value question there. So well done if that's what you got home. Okay, let's take a look at question 2. So pause the video to have a go. Okay, how'd you get on? Let's see. So if this space here, it's a bit like your maths book. So use it, please use it to show some working. For this one, I would literally just do some column subtraction. So 6 take away 5 is 1, and then I can't do 5 take away 8, so I'm just going to exchange 100 for 10 tens to make 15 tens. Take away 8 tens is 7 tens, and then 3 take away 0. 3 take away 3 is 0. So that would be 71 for that one. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, I'm just going to clear the drawings and move on to question 3. So, yep, take a look at question 3. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so this one is very straightforward and is just 0, because anything times 0 is 0. So I hope that's what you got at home. So well done if that's what you got. Right, let's move straight on to question 4. If I can just scroll down. There we go. Okay, here's your question 4. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so this is a bit of a decimals, place value, working out where things go. So make sure that you line up your digits correctly. So this one would be, so can you see that I'm using 1 box per digit, including the decimal point, just to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. That is the top tip that I would give you. You can put these numbers either way around because they are just an adding question. So, yep, so, and because we have a space here, you can always put a 0 as a little placeholder. So 0 add 3 is 3. Just going to put my decimal point in there as well. So 5 add 8 is 13. 6 add 7 is 13 plus 1 is 14. So again, when we're exchanging, when we're adding, just moving to the next column along, and even when you cross the decimal, same thing. 7 add 1, and the 1s is 9, and 4 plus 10s plus 5 tens would be 9. So if you got 99.433, good job. Right, let's move on to question 5. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got 904 take away 8. So, you could think about, taking away 4 to get to 900 and taking away another 4 to get to 896 by partitioning it. You could do it that way. You could do column subtraction again if you really wanted to. But yeah, just let me know how you got on with that one. I'd love to know how you did this question because it's just taking away 8 ones, isn't it? Okay, so let's move on to question 6. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so we've got 84 divided by 12. So you could do, some bus stop method if that helps you. 84 is quite a big number to sit and draw out and divide, and you only get a certain amount of time for this paper. So it's all about thinking about strategies that will get you to answer questions quicker. You could do 12 times something equals 84, because that would be basically the times table fact. If you got 7, well done. So yeah, please let me know how you did that one at home, and what time-saving hacks do you have for these sort of questions as well. Right, let's move on to question 7. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so we've got 6 times 832. So I would just put that into column multiplication. So we've got 6 times 12, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 6 is 36, add 1 is 37. Then 8 times 6 is 48. Add 3 is 51. So if you got 5,172, good job. Remember to write your answer in the box. I know it sounds really obvious, but if you don't write your answer in the box, you might not get a mark for it because the examiner might think, oh, is that their answer? Is that their final answer? Your final answer has to go in the blue box. If you notice, I've written the answer in the box every time so far. Okay, let's take a look at question 8. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so we've got 12 times 3 is 36, times that by 10 is 360. So if you're timesing any whole number, not decimals, any whole number by 10, just add a 0. Right, pretty straightforward. Right, let's move on to question 9. Pause the video. Let me just scroll down so you can actually see the question and remove that. Right, so pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it's a bit of a part whole model type style of question, this one. So we've got 326 add something equals 380. For this one, so we know that those two parts will make 380. So I would just do the inverse and do 380, it's a bit of a wonky 3. Take away 326. So obviously can't take away 0, so can't take away 6, so exchange that for 10 ones. So 10 take away 6 in the ones is 4, 7 tens take away 2 tens is 5 tens, and 3 take away 3 hundreds is 0, so that should be 54. So well done if you've got 54 at home. Right, let's move on to the next question. Let's look at number 10. So pause the video to have a go. Right, so again, this is a times tables, division facts type question. So 72 divided by something equals 9. You could divide 72 by 9 to get this one. Or you could do 9 times something equals 72. So that which should be 8 for this question. So let me know how you did this one in the comments. I would love to know. Right, let's take a look at question 11. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got 2/5 times 5/6. So I'm just going to literally write this on the bottom. I've gone a bit out of my digits, but 1 digit per box here. Sorry about that. So 2 times 5 on the numerators is 10. And then 5 times 6 is 30. So that gives us 10/30ths. They're not asking you to simplify, but you could, if you wanted to make that become a third. But I'm just going to leave it as 10/30ths for now because they haven't said to me, can you simplify the fraction? So I'm going to leave it as a 10/30 for now. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at question 12. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so can you see a times tables fact here? Or a division fact? If I just remove that 0 for a second, got 54 divided by 6. 6 times something equals 54. So obviously that's 9, but because we've got that 0 there, we need to make sure we just put a 0 here as well. So if you've got 90, well done. How did you do this one? I'd love to know. Right, so let's take a look at question 13. So let me just erase that and then bring you down. Okay, so let's take a look at question 13. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, how'd you get on? So I'm going to put my 1 digit per box again. Make sure I actually do it this time. Oh, that's an 8, isn't it? Not a 5. Okay, so 7 times 8 is 56. Then we've got 0 times 8 is 0. Add 5 is 5. Then 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, so if I just write 6,456 in this box, that's all you need. So well done if that's what you got at home. Right, let's take a look at question 14. They've actually done half the working for you. And also, it says here, show your method. So, and it's a 2 marker. It's the first 2 marker we've actually seen so far. So this is one where you really do need to show your working out on this one if you want to grab those 2 marks. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, so we'll start off by doing 2 times 4 is 8. And 1 times 2 is 2. And 6 times 2 is 12. And then we'll do the tens ones. But before we do that, I'm going to pop a 0 here. Some of you may have written the 0 in the second column in the ones already, which is a really brilliant idea. So it means you don't forget to do it. So then 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 1 is 3. Then add 1 is 4. 6 times 3 is 18. Now I'm just going to pop a placeholder there because the next bit we need to do some adding. So we've got 8 add 0 is 8. I've lost my 1 digit per box thing. 2 add 4 is 4. In an ideal world, that's what you do anyway. 2 add 6 is 6. Ignore that little 1 from before. 1 add 8 is 9, and then 0 add 1 is 9 is a 1. So if you got 19,648, well done. Right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, question 15. Pause the video to have a go. Right, did you see a times tables fact here? So I've got 20 and 4, so close that, just get rid of those 2 zeros for a second. 20 divided by 4 I know is 5, but because I've crossed off those 2 zeros, I now need to put them back on. So that's 500. So let me know how you got on with that one. Right, so let's look at question 16 and pause the video to have a little go. Okay, so we've got 3 times 8.9. So I'm going to pop it this way up. And 3, and then a times symbol there. And I'll put my decimal points directly underneath this one. I'm not going to put it over here or in this box. It's got to be directly where it is, where the original one was. So 9 times 3 is 27. And then 8 times 3 is 24. Add 2 is 26. So if we got 26.7, well done. Good. Right, let's move on to question 17. So we've got 326.8 divided by 10. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so this is my little top tip. You might not have learnt this one in school. You may have done. Oh, let me just undo that while I'm at my decimal point in the box. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to change the colour of my decimal point, change the colour quickly for my pen. So if you're dividing by 10, it's 1, 0. So we're just going to pop this decimal point into here. We're going to move it back one space to make this number smaller, because when you're dividing, I'm making a number smaller. So, oh, what happened there? And then, so that makes the number 32.68. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's move on to question 18. So pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got 1/3 take away 1/9. Both these denominators are different, so that means we need to make them the same. So I can see that 3 would go into 9, so let's make them into ninths. So we can, oh, here we go. So 9 there, then I'll put a takeaway symbol there, then a 9 there. Okay, so 1/9 will keep the same because we're just making them into ninths, so it's the same thing. So 3 goes into 9, sorry, 3 times. So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 ninths take away 1/9 is 2 ninths. Okay, so well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at question 19. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so this one doesn't have an obvious, times tables fact that we know, unless you know it. Brilliant. I'd love to. I wish I had your brain. But this one, you would need to just do a bit of bus stop for this one personally. So 7 into 8 goes once with 1 left over. 7 into 19 goes twice with 5 left over. And then so 7 into 56 is 8. So that should be 128. Yeah, so if I then pop that in my answer box, well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 20. So pause the video to have a go. Right, so this is one where you would definitely need to be lining up your digits correctly, because you can see that the number has lots of different, both numbers have both have different amounts of digits. So I'm going to write the first one up first, and this one I'm actually going to do backwards, and I'll show you for why. So I've got 6 ones, 4 tens, 3 hundreds, 2 thousands, and 5 10,000s. That was simply so I could ensure they were lined up correctly. Okay, so I wouldn't start with writing this. If you know it straight away, that's brilliant. But this is just my little top tip, just to really show attention to detail, making sure you get the marks. So for this one, obviously we don't know we can't do 5 take away 6, so we're going to exchange. 15 take away 6 is 9. Can't do 2 take away 4, so we've got to do another exchange. So that's 12 take away 4 is 8. Then we've got to keep exchanging. There's lots of exchanges in this question, aren't there? So 11 take away 3 is 8. 3 take away 2 is 1. Phew, no exchanges. Right, now we've got a 0 take away 5. So can't exchange from there. So we're going to go all the way over here to exchange. Then this one. So then 10 take away 5 is 5. And then 9 take away 0 is 9. And then we've got 0 take away 0, which is 0. We'll just leave that blank. So it should have 951,889. So well done if that's what you got. It's quite a lot to do for 1 mark, actually, that question, isn't it? I'd have maybe given that 2, but there we are. That's just me. Maybe I'm too kind. Right, so let's look at question 21. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so we don't have a times tables fact for this one immediately, do we? So I would just put this into bus stop. Okay, trying my best to keep it in the digit boxes. Okay, so 9 doesn't go into 4, but it can go into 41 4 times, because 9 times 6 is 36. And we've got 5 left over. Then 9 goes into 54. Let's have a think. We've got 45 is the closest one, isn't it? So that would be 5 times with 5 left over. And 9 goes into 54 6 times. So well done if you got 456. Okay, right. So let's take a look at question 22. Pause the video to have a little go. Okay, so we've got 1/6 add 2/3 add 3/12. So again, these don't have the same denominator. So we need to make sure they do. So I'm just going to write out the question as it stands. So what number goes into, what do each of these digits go into? Well, I'm going to say it's 12, just to keep one fraction the same as well. So I'm going to put 12 underneath each of these, just so they're all laid out how I'd like them. So 6 goes into 12 twice, so 1 times 2 is 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times, so 4 times 2 is 8. Now they're all the same, we can add them all up. So we've got 2 add 8 is 10, add 3 is 13 over 12. So that's an accepted answer. Or if you wanted to convert it into 1 and 1/12, that would also be right as well. So either one of those, absolutely fine. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's look at question 23. So pause the video and have a go. Right, so we've got 17 take away 3.6. So because we've got a decimal, I'm going to set up 17 as a decimal. And 3.6, so it's a very wonky 3. But it is a 3, I promise. So 0 take away 6 we can't do, so let's exchange 10 ones for 10 tenths. So 10 take away 6 is 4, 6 take away 3 is 3, then 1 take away 0 is 1. Here's that I put a placeholder in there as well. Also put my decimal in directly underneath the decimal points that I put in the question initially. So if you've got 13.4, well done. So I'll pop that in the answer box there. Okay, right, let's take a look at question 24. This is where the question starts to get a little bit trickier now. They may have done a little bit further up, but yeah. Here's another one. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so this is quite good. They've got the denominators the same, aren't they? So that's a good start. We don't need to do any converting there. So what we could do is, I'm just going to use a different colour for this as well. So you'll see that crop up in a minute. I could add my whole numbers together. That gives me 3. But these decimals, these fractions might go over 1. So this is just something just to quickly bear in mind. Then I'm going to add my fractions together. So 3/5 add 3/5 is 6/5. So that would be 3 and 6/5. But because we've got, if I convert that into 1 and 1/5, then add that to my 3 to give me 4 and 1/5. Like that. Or if you got 21 over 5, you did it a slightly different way, 21/5. That's also correct as well. So well done if that's what you got at home. Right, let's take a look at question 25. 5% of 86. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so one thing we can do with this one is we can find 10%, which is literally dividing 860 by 10, which is 86. So 10%, oh, my pen is now pink. I'll change that to blue for the next question. 10% equals 86. So 5%. So what have I done to my 10 to make it become 5? I've divided that by 2. So that means I need to divide 86 by 2 to give me 43. So if you've got 43, well done. What method did you use to find this question, to find out this one? I'd love to know. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's move on to question 26, and I'm going to make sure that my pen is blue like it was before. Right, question 26. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got 5/8 divided by 3. So this is where we do our bit of, cheap KFC. Other brands are available. But we do keep, change, flip with this, don't we? So that'll be 5. We keep this one the same. Change the divide to a times. Then we flip this 3 into, because a whole number, did you know? A whole number is always that as a fraction. So you may or may not have known that, but it is true. So we're going to flip that to make that become a third, like that. And we just times these as normal. So we times our numerators, which is 5. So 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 3 is 24, like so. So if you've got 5/24, well done. Right, let's take a look at question 27. Scroll down. Pause the video to have a go. Right, for this is quite a big question for 1 mark. 19%. There's going to be quite a lot of ways of getting to this one. I'm going to show you my way of doing it, which I think might be the quickest. You might have done it this way. If you can find a quicker way, let me know, because I would love to know what that is. Right, so let's start by finding 10%. So, because that's quite a big chunk of this 19 already covered. 10% equals... Oops, I'm drawing this wrong. Let me start again. So 10% equals 230. It's literally, oh, that's 3, that's a 3. This is not going well for me today, is it? There we go, start again. We're all human, we all make mistakes. I'm not a robot on a YouTube channel, I'm a real person. So, yeah, so 10% is 230. Now 19 is really close to 20, isn't it? Why don't we find what 20% would be? So that means that we need to, so if I've doubled my 10 to make it become 20, I need to double this one to make it 460. So that means we're really close to the answer now, doesn't it? So just got that 1% to find. So when you find 1% of a number, we divide this number, the total, by 100. So we know that we just, if it's a whole number, you just take off 2 zeros. If it's a whole number with zeros on the end, just take off 2 zeros to make that 23. So then to find 19%, we're going to literally take away this 23 from 460. So 460, take away 23. Let's go for it. So 10 take away 1 in 3. 1. 10 take away 3 in the ones is 7. 5 take away 2 is 3. 4 take away 0 in the hundreds is 4. So if you got 437 at home, well done. That was quite a tricky question, that. There's a lot to do, and I think that one should be worth more marks, but that's just me. Okay, let's move on to question 28. Okay, this is a 2-marker. Love it. Pause the video and have a go. Right, let's see how we get on. So this one looks to me like it's going to be a long division question. So my top tip, because I don't know my 17 times table off the top of my head. You might do. I would love your brain if that's what you know how to do. But this is my top tip for finding a few of those times tables if you don't know them. So obviously I'll start with 1 times 17 is 17. 2 times 17, I can double 17. Don't know why that's like a 12, it's actually a 7. So 2 times 7 is 34, I can double that. 5 times 17, well I don't know that straight away. So what I'm going to do is just find 10 times 17 first of all, which is 170. Oops. So that now means that I can now find, if I want to find 5 times 17, I can divide this number by 2. So 2 into 170, so again, I'm still not sure on that. So 2 into 1 doesn't go, 2 into 17, let's see, 8 times. with 1 left over. 2 into 10 goes 5 times, so that would be 85. Right, let's use these to start us off. Okay, we can then build in more times tables if we need to. Don't waste your time writing out the entire 17 times table. It's a complete waste of time. Right, so 17 into 8 doesn't go, but 17 into 88. Oh, well, I can see that 85 is our closest multiple, so let's pop 17 there. 5 there, sorry, on the top. Then I'm going to write 85 underneath because 17 times 5 is that. So 8 I'm going to take away these, find our remainder. So 8 take away 5 is 3. 8 take away 8 is 0. We'll bring our 4 down to here. So 17 to 34 goes twice to give us an answer of 52. So well done if that's what you got at home. That would give you 2 marks. See, if I'd written out all of the 17 times table, I actually needed the 2 times table and the 5 times table then, didn't I? Didn't need to write out all of them. So that goes to show you don't need to do it. Just literally just do those key ones, 1, 2, 5 and 10. Then if you need to build into other ones, you've got some facts there to start you off. Let's see if that comes up again. We do need to put in some more times tables, but that is my absolute. But if you can do that, I don't want to say bare minimum, but you know the least amount that you can do to find an answer especially in these questions in these papers where you don't have a lot of time. Definitely anything that saves time will be so useful. Right, question 29. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so let's, for this one, because they've got 2 different denominators, what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into an improper fraction. So that's 2 times 6 is 12. That's now 13 over 6. Okay, add 2 fifths. Okay, I know that both 6 and 5 both go into 30. There we go. So we're going to convert them both into something over 30. So have you noticed now that on the other questions where I did convert them into the same denominator, one of the numbers was there. It's not this time. So it's just trying to find what they both go into. This is the lowest number that both 6 and 5 both go into. You can sit and write the multiples out if you wanted to and find the lowest one. I'm not going to do that just to save time in the video, but you can write them out and find the lowest one they both go into. So 6 times 5 is 30, so 13 times 5 is 65. And then 5 into 30 goes 6 times, so 6 times 2 is 12. So add these together and that gives us 77 over 30. That answer is accepted, 77 over 30. You can 100% do that if that's what you want to do. Or you can do 2 and 17 30ths. Please don't just write them both in, just choose one, write that one answer in there. Don't need to write them both in there. Again, saving your time here. Right, number 30, pause the video to have a go. So this one is a show your method. It's a 2 marker, so make sure that you're showing all your working for this one. So we've got 9 times 4 is 36. 1 times 4 is 4, add 7 is, add 3 is 7. I think about the answer, not what I'm adding. I do that a lot. So 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, 6 times 4 is 24. Add 1 is 25. Now what I'm going to do, just so I don't confuse myself, because let's face it, oh, I've just erased the wrong bits. Let's face it, I do get very confused at the best of times, and I can't seem to erase them. So that's very frustrating. You can just cross them out, just so you don't need to use them. I might actually divert and just put a pink line on them, just to tell me, ignore those numbers now. Okay. Anything that helps you not use these numbers would be great. Right, 0 underneath. Okay, 7 times 4 is 63. 1 times 7 is 7. Add 6 is 13. 4 times 7 is 28. Add 1 is 29. Then 6 times 7 is 42. Add 2 is 44. Okay. Oh, haven't kept not very straight lines. I am sorry. And I'm just going to cross these out because I don't want to add these on the adding bit when it comes to the adding. Right, back to my blue pen. So 6 add 0 is 6. 7 add 3 is 10. 6 add 3 is 9. Add 1 is 10. Oh, I could do 9 add 1 is 10. Add 5 is 15. Little tops it there. Find the number bonds. 2 add 4 is 6. Add 1 is 7. Then 0 add 4. If you wanted to, you could put a placeholder in. So if you got 475,006, well done. 2 marker in the bag. Right, let's move on to question 31. This looks fun. Right, question 31. Pause the video to have a go. Right, so nice bit of bod maths we've got going on here. So brackets first. So 5 squared add 3. So 5 squared is 25. Add 3 is 28. Take away 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So 28 take away 3 is 25. So well done if you've got that one. Okay, let's move on to question 32. Pause video to have a little go. Let me just take those. Right, pause video to have a go. Right, we're going to find 65% of 540. I'm sure there are plenty of different ways that you could do this. I'm going to break this 65 down into 50%, 10%, and 5% because I know that I can find all of those pretty quickly. You might do it as find 10% and 5%. Find 10%, times it by 3, then add the 5% on, which makes you 35%. To find out 35% and take that away from 540. That is another valid way of doing it. But I'm just going to do my way, which is finding 50% first. So 50% of 540. So I need to divide that by 2, don't I? I think it's 270, but I just double check that. 540. So 2 into 5 goes twice with 1 left over. 2 into 14 goes 7. Looks like I'm right. And then 2 into 0 is 0, so 270. So 10% of 540. So it's a number with a 0. Just take off the 0. Take off 1 0 is 54. So then 5% is halving 54. Well, I already halved 540, which is 270. So it must be 27. Right, so if I add 50, 10 and 5 together, that makes 65, doesn't it? So that means we need to add all these numbers together. So I'm going to just do a bit of column addition over here. That is a 7. It's just my pen's a bit funky. Add 54, add 27. So 0 add 4 add 7 is 11. 7 add 5 is 12. Add 2 is 14. Add 1 is 15. And then 2 add 1 in the hundreds is 3. So that will give me 351. Do not write 351 and then the percentage symbol. All right, because it is not 351%. So 65% of 540 is 351. That's it. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so how did you get on? So we've got 3 1/3 times 12. So like I did with that question before, we had a mixed number question. Turn it into a proper fraction. So I've got 3 times 3 is 9, add 1 is 10, so it makes it 10 thirds times 12. Do you remember what I said at the beginning? Said earlier that any whole number that's not a fraction, it is technically a fraction, because as a fraction it would be 12 over 1, like so. So now all I need to do now is 10 times 12 is 120. 3 times 1 is 3. Now, remember when I said that sometimes they might accept it if you just leave it as it is? For this one, they actually want you to divide this one. So 120 divided by 3 is 40. That is what they're actually looking for in this one. Okay, so just a top tip, just, you know, sometimes if they want you to divide, they might want you to divide it even if it doesn't tell you to. Just be aware. Okay, so let's have a look at question 34. So let's have a quick look. I just need to delete these bits. Can you remember my top tip with this one? If you don't know the 45 times table, what could you do? Pause the video to have a go at this question. Right, okay, so don't know the 45 times table. So I'm going to do my top tip, which was to find some basic ones just to start you off. Then we've got 2 times 45, I can double 45, that's 90. 10 times 45 equals 450. Then 5 times 45, just divide this number by 2. Don't know what that is. So, I don't, honestly. So 2 into 4 goes twice. 2 into this one, into 5 goes twice with 1 left over. Then 2 into 10 goes 5, so it's 225. As much as I'd love to be, I'm not a human calculator. I do have to sometimes work things out myself. Right, so now we've got those basic ones. If we need to find some extras, we've got some basics to start us off. Right, so let's see. 45 into 8 doesn't go, so 45 into 81. Oh, I've got 90 is the closest one for that. So I would say that would be, oh no, we can't use 90, can we? Let's have a think. So, we can't use that one, can we? So, we can only use that once, can't we? Because it needs to be lower than the 90, doesn't it? So it only goes in once. So 1 times 45 is 45. So let's do a little bit of subtraction. That really threw me, that one. So 11 take away 5 is 6. Then that's 7 take away 4 is 3. Bring the 9 down, 369. Now, we don't have 369 on our times tables facts, do we? To divide 45 into it. This is where you can start thinking about other ones now. So we could do 9 times 45, because I know that 450 is pretty close-ish to 450. So 9 times 45. So if we do 450 take away 45, that'd be 405. Okay, that's still not quite enough, but let's see if we can take away another 45. 8 times 45 equals, so take away 45 from 405. Let's take away 5 first, it's 400. Take away 40 is 360. Let's use that. So 360. Okay, perfect. So that would be 8 times. Take that away. So 9 take away 0 is 9. 6 take away 6 is 0. 3 take away 0. 3 is 0. So there's 9 left over. And then if we pop that 0 down to make it 45 into 90. We have that one. No remainders. So that must be 2. So if you got 182, well done if that's what you got at home. So again, I didn't need to write out all the 45 times table. Right, okay, let's move on to question 35. Okay, so now I've got 3/8 times 240. pause the video to have a go. Right, so again, we've got a times tables one. So it is 3/8 of 240 as well, because of does mean times. You could do it that way. We could do it 3/8 times 24. 3/8 is 24. So and then just stick a 0 on the end at the end. So we could do 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Let's stick the 0 back on the end to make 90. You could make that into another calculation if you wanted to. But if you've got 90, do let me know. I would love to know how you got on with that one. Okay, let's take a look at question 36. Let me scroll up. Right. So question 36, pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got 4 3/7 take away 1 1/6. Okay, so again, we've got some mixed numbers and different denominators. So again, let's just make them into improper fractions. I personally prefer that way of doing it. So 4 times 7 is 28, add 3 is 31 over 7. Now 1 times 6 is 6, add 1 is 7, so that'd be 7 over 6. Lots of 6 sevens here, if you get the cultural reference there. So 6 and 7, both 7 and 6 both go into 42. Okay, so 7 goes into 42 6 times. So 131 times 6. Again, this is quite a lot to do, isn't it? It's a lot of time. So 1 times 6 is 6, that's 186. So 3 times 6 in the tens is that. So 186. Then we've got 6 goes into 42 7 times, so 7 times 7 is 49. Then 186 take away 49. Again, they're not lined up. So 16 take away 9 is 7. 7 take away 3 is 3. And 1 take away 0 is 1. So it gives us 137 over 42 is one correct answer. Or if you've got 3 and 11 over 42, 3 and 11 over 42, that's also correct as well. Well done that's the end of the paper. So well done if you got that answer. That was quite a tricky question. And if you've watched all the way to the end and done the paper alongside me, thank you so much for your time. I hope you've learnt lots of top tips along the way, how to answer this paper. I know that I've done more than what the paper has said. I think it's like 40 minutes, 35 minutes you have to do this. I know this video's gone on longer, but I've given you my tips along the way, and I hope that they've been useful. Get in touch, but at the website, mosstutoring.co.uk, like and subscribe for future videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care and good luck.